Hey everybody, Nathan Nowak here from Trinity Fitness. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today, Taryn and I are going to be discussing fitness and nutrition among young people, especially during COVID, and how you can support your health and nutrition habits. So stay tuned. As we come back, we will talk about that and more. And by the way, for those of you out there who thought that Brandon was such a favorite and popular guy, they're actually saying, let's go, Taryn.
Nathan, how are you doing today out there?
Oh man, I'm doing good. It's getting a little chilly around here.
Yes, certainly, absolutely. It's the first real signs of true fall/winter. So, thanks so much again for being able to take time out of your busy schedule. And it's so nice to always catch up with you. So, the first question right off the bat today, you and I were going to do some, I think, kind of myth busting, looking at these misconceptions, and I guess just right off the bat, I'll just start us right off. Exercise, as you know, gets an unfair rap. There's articles even from Yahoo and some other websites that'll flat out say you can work out all you want or exercise all you want, but it's not going to really make a difference. It comes down to just what you eat, and we all know that that's a very slanted, distorted way for the media to kind of look at things. But now it looks like because of everything going on, we're getting attacked again, where it might not necessarily be safe enough to return back to workout and exercise. So, just what's your thoughts on everything that has kind of been out there with misinformation?
Well, I find it interesting that they're going to shut down gyms and they're going to shut down, PE in schools. They want to keep everybody apart, but liquor stores are open. Costco is open. The big box stores are open. Even during the middle of the pandemic, the big box stores were open, but mom and pop grocery stores had to close. And I thought at that point, okay, if you're trying to eliminate people being around each other, but you're going to allow everybody to come into Costco, I don't understand. And if a mask is effective, then why can't you wear a mask in a mom and pop store? It doesn't make any sense to me. And then I was deployed doing COVID missions in the very beginning,
right?
Decontaminating senior living facilities, gyms, and that kind of stuff. When the gyms were allowed to start asking for it, and they were wiping down everything with this detergent that we had, and then come to find out that wasn't even the way it was really even spread. So it doesn't live on surfaces. So if that's the case, and we learned that, and finally they stopped doubling down on that, then why couldn't we open up gyms? Why couldn't? Oh, well, it's in sweat. Well, no, because you just said that it's not on every surface, so it's not in sweat. And if that's the case, then why? And if that still is the case, then why are we not wiping down the carts at Costco and Publix anymore?
No, it's a good point. You're right. They have taken that away. You're right.
You don't want to spend the money on the wipes anymore. Is it getting too expensive for you? You have the cashier behind a plexiglass window, but you have the bagger without a plexiglass window.
That's a good point too. You're right.
And again, if it's touching everything, that guy touched every single piece of my fruit and vegetables.
That's right.
So, it's like, dude, does anybody just stop and think for a moment that this is a little bit ridiculous? And then somebody sent me a picture today of, when you're at the airport, everybody has to be 6 feet or 10 feet apart.
Right.
Then what happens when you're on the airplane?
You're like this.
Yeah. And now, now the middle seat is back open, or not open, but now, people are
available.
Are in the middle seat, available.
Yep, absolutely.
Because airlines are losing money.
Yep.
So when corporations are losing money, then they go to the government and say, hey, well, we need to change this a little bit, this wording here, so we can make some money. So it's really not about the small people. It's really, if this was really about health, then for me to get in and for me to, I rather than giving us a lot of scare tactics, then they would have educated people on the vaccine, because there's a problem when people are lining up in droves not to get a vaccine. So you, as the leaders, you as the government, you as the people that were bringing this information down, you did a very ineffective job of doing it, because there's so many people saying, you know what, this is too quick. No, you know what, there's inconsistencies in your message. Well, I don't even think you believe your message. So rather than poking fun, rather than making fun, rather than belittling these people and calling them all these different names, calling me this name because I don't have a vaccine. Why don't you educate? But you're alienating and you're dividing more and more and more. So if this was really about health, if this was really about wellness, if this was really about saving people's lives, then rather than putting stuff in and allowing the government to take care of you, look at what you can take care of, which is your health, your wellness, your well-being, your fitness. Because, one of the things is, well, I'll give you 2 Krispy Kreme donuts if you come get your vaccine.
Yes.
Well, three biggest concerns when it comes to COVID complications is obesity, heart disease, and diabetes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead and go get those Krispy Kreme. You know what? Take mine too. Tell them Nathan sent you down there. So it's about health and wellness. It's about getting your health. And I was talking to a client this past week because he said, well, you can be the healthiest person and still have COVID and still die. Absolutely. But you can also be the healthiest person. You can be an Olympic athlete who's just won a gold medal and 2 months later have a brain aneurysm and die. There is when was there a certainty of how long you were going to live? It's kind of like a computer. You can buy a brand new computer today and the hard drive crash next week.
Very true.
The body is like a hard drive. You never know when something is just going to go wrong. And it could be the most perfectly clean computer, perfectly clean body. Hard drive, just one misfire. I mean, the body and the brain are the most intricate pieces of equipment here on Earth. And we use and abuse them all day long. And then we wonder why they break down on us. So, I mean, it really goes back to, if you focus on your health, you focus on the things that you can control. You can't control whether you're going to get the flu. You can't control whether you're going to get sick, but you can control the things, some of the factors that could lead up to that. Some of those factors that are going to, because there's a lot of people that have had COVID that are asymptomatic or have had very little symptoms and almost like, I didn't even realize I had it. Have the antibodies and didn't even realize they were sick.
True.
But then you have other people that have COVID that are on ventilators and respirators and are going to die or close to death. So why is that? And the big factor is health. The factor is mitochondria fitness. The factor is, what are the things leading up to that? Did I have comorbidities? What are the things that I can control? And when you just take the things into control and take responsibility for the things that you can control, leave everything else away, I mean, that's going to increase your chances. You have I think a buddy of mine might have the percentage a little bit wrong, but I'm pretty close. 250% chance of surviving COVID if you just use nutrition and exercise on a daily basis.
Makes sense. I would believe that. Yeah.
But man, it's almost like we want things so easy in our lives, right? We want Amazon. As soon as we order something, we expect Amazon at our door within 5 minutes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But when it comes to nutrition and fitness, everything's got to be complicated, because if it's too simple, if it's too easy, there's no way that'll work. I need to pay another $997 before that works. Because eating a starchy carb, a fibrous carb, and a lean protein every 3 to 3.5 hours, there's no way that'll work. I need something else. Got to be something else. They're leaving something else out. No, guys, it's that simple. It's that simple. If you want simplicity in life, your fitness and nutrition should be one of those areas that you keep it simple and keep it easy. So many other things that can be complicated in life. Your fitness and nutrition shouldn't be one of them.
Wow. Nathan, you just covered so much there, just really nicely, and just kind of looking at some of the points you were making. We have overcomplicated health and fitness, and isn't it funny that you and I have been in this industry most of our career, pretty much most of our life at this point for both of us. Yeah, and it's so funny that all it takes is a latest fad or some kind of you got to get this Peloton treadmill because none of the other ones work right. This is the one, right. I'm telling you. Or you have to get this diet pill, and this is for sure the one that works right and everything else. But going back to what you were first saying about masks and vaccines and everything else, and since this whole start of this like a year and a half ago, I remember just thinking like how we were overcomplicating it. Not we, but like the government, like the administration. It just seemed like, why are they making things so difficult when they really don't need to be? And, you brought up so many valid points between wiping things down versus inhaling versus, and speaking of, you mentioned the funny cartoons and memes. I saw one that you've probably seen this, speaking of airports, where actually, no, a restaurant, I should say, and you've probably seen this, where when the person's standing and they got the mask on and COVID's like a red arrow or red X-ray, we're going right through, and that's where it exists. The minute the person sat down and took the mask off, the red arrow X-ray went like right over his head. That's why it doesn't exist down there when you're eating. So it's kind of like, that's where we're at right now, right? Or just saying, and I'll be honest with you, I may have mentioned this last time you and I talked, but I take this personally with having two little ones. And with the masks for the little kids, when I see that outside and I see the kindergartners with like 4 or 5 year olds and wearing masks over their face, I'm sorry. I mean, I'll die on this hill, but I just see that as child abuse, and that's why both of our kids up to this point have not put a mask on. Period. And no one's going to do that. They'll do that over our dying, clutching hands before they touch both of our kids. And it's just a lot of personal choices, personal matters, and let's face it. I respect people if they want to get the vaccine, if they want to wear a mask, if they want to put masks on their kids, which I don't agree with that last one especially, but that's their choice. That's fine. Right. But having say to me and say, you better put a mask on, or you better put a mask on your kid, or you better get jabbed. I don't understand that. Again, there's a constitutional argument here where does our freedom of choice end and separate, and it's kind of getting blurred there. But you're right about that. I would agree that that's where it's dangerous right now. I really see it becoming more dangerous with more restrictions. And I'll give you a clear analogy, and then I'll shut up for a second. Because when 9/11 happened, and where I'm going with this, everything changed with the way you go to the airport. No more of the, you remember, we're about the same age. You go to the gates, you get to kiss your family goodbye, you get to hug them when they come see you at the gate, when they fly in. That never happened, never will, because of one significant date. Well, now with this that's happened, I guarantee, and again, I'll probably firmly believe in this, I don't think the masks are going away. I don't think the vaccines are going away. I think that this paranoia, hyper-paranoia, I should say, with people outside wearing masks while they're running, people in their cars by themselves wearing a mask, I think that is here to stay because, again, it's changed everything. And I just flew recently. I went to Phoenix, Arizona a couple weeks ago, and I looked around and I was like, yeah, this is probably going to be the way it's going to be for a while. I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts on all of that? I know that's a lot right there. So,
well, the first thing, I love how both of us are taking notes as we're talking.
Yeah.
Because we talk about so much, and I'm like, oh man, I got to write that down. I got to write that.
Right.
So first, to go back to about your kids. Okay?
Yeah.
So to go back about your kids, everybody knows that when children are small, that is the crucial years to build up their immune system.
A very good point.
And if you're putting on a mask, now first of all, I think that, and this is Nathan's opinion, okay? I think that we over vaccinate our kids as it is.
Good point.
You and I didn't get the same vaccinations that our kids do today.
Very true. Very, very good point.
Are some of these leading to some of the problems that we see in kids today that weren't prevalent during our generation?
That's a good question. That's a good point. Yeah.
That argument is there.
Right.
Okay? You want to be on one side or the other.
Absolutely.
Argument is there.
Yeah. Sure.
So now we have we have over-vaccinated kids that are not allowing their immune system, their natural immunity, to build up and be strong and to fight off disease on its own. Now we've got kids wearing masks in the crucial time where they need to be getting sick. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in, it's almost like you have to do the hard work in order to get the result. You have to get in the gym. You have to get in the grind to see the weight loss. You have to eat right. You got to do the thing. You got to do the to get right. Same thing with the kids. Kids have to get dirty. They have to scratch their knee. They have to fall down. They have to learn the behaviors. They have to learn the patterns. They have to learn, their body has to learn immunity. If you eliminate that by putting on a mask, just by the smallest things, now what do we have? Mm-hmm. The hospitals are saying now that they're not seeing a lot of COVID patients. They're seeing a lot of all of the other illnesses coming out, and they're coming out tenfold. Why is that? Because everybody's been wearing masks for the last year and a half, almost 2 years now.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
So now we have all of these diseases, all these viruses, all these bacteria, all these things that are stemming from all of this, we washed our hands entirely too much. Mm-hmm. We cleaned everything way too much, and now we have the mask problem where we're breathing in recirculated air, but we're also not breathing in air that we need to be able to fight off on a regular basis. Our immune systems now, congratulations, are now compromised.
Wow.
So our immune systems, for those healthy folks out there, your immune system wasn't compromised 2 years ago. Your immune system has now been compromised because of this thing that you've been putting over your face, and it hasn't been stopping COVID. Because somebody, this is a good one. If your tighty whities can't stop you from sniffing a fart, then how is the most deadliest disease in the world going to be stopped by a cloth over your mouth? I mean, I'm just saying. It's funny, but it's kind of like when you stop to think about that, like, oh, okay. Or maybe if you wear 2 swimsuits in the pool, you'll be back. You'll be eliminated from feeling the pee of somebody else. You know what I mean? It's like, what are the hypocrisy and the stupidity of this? And then, of course, you've got the whole rules for thee and not for me.
Very good point. Yes, we see that.
Cameras are off.
Absolutely.
Masks off. Cameras are on. Masks are on.
Yep.
Or nope, you guys cannot. You guys will not be able to celebrate 4th of July. You will not be able to celebrate Thanksgiving. You will not be able to go to Christmas. And what do we got? 40 people at a party inside.
Exactly.
And rather than apologizing and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," they're like, "Oh, well, we didn't know it was going to be inside, but you still went inside. You're an adult. You still went inside."
Yes.
So it's like it's preposterous. Like how can I believe you about a vaccine when I cannot believe you about your own words about whether or not we have to get together in groups or we cannot get together in groups? Because what it looks like to me is the upper echelon of people are doing one thing while all the peas and the poppers are doing another. You're telling me that I must be vaccinated, that I must wear a mask, but you don't have to. I mean, let's take it another step further. Talk about federal mandates. Mandated, you must get vaccinated if you're going to go to work, but the Postal Service employees don't have to get a vaccination. Federal employees.
Interesting.
Contractors that are federal contractors, for instance, Southwest and United, have to all federal contracted companies have to have a vaccine.
It's true.
But what about the rest of? I mean, they've already put in place stipulations so that federal employees do not have to get the vaccination. So it's so important, so crucial. And why isn't it every single person? But there's loophole here, skip this here.
Wow.
And then again, you make me think, why? Okay, so what is it? Explain it. Explain your position, because right now it's all of this stuff is going on behind the scenes. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. So we have one vaccine. Now we have to have a second vaccine. Now we have to talk about a third booster. And now we're already talking about a fourth booster. And now you want me to take pills on top of that just in case.
Wow. Oh my God.
Now these are the same people. Now that we're going to go on this tyrant now, all of these people that have jumped on this bandwagon, rather than eat right, rather than exercise, rather than take your health and wellness into your own responsibility, we're going to trust that the government is going to do this for us, and we're going to get vaxxed up. This is the same government that was taking Native Americans and giving them hysterectomies. This is the same government that was shooting shots in people to stop them from getting pregnant. So we have a history of doing dumb shit to people, and now you want me to all of a sudden believe everything that comes out of your mouth? I mean, guys, that's why people are sheeple. Sheep just follow the herd.
Yeah.
And when a lion stands out and says, "You know what? I'm not going to do that." Oh, now you're anti this, you're anti that. No, I'm not. And to be quite clear, I don't care what you do, but don't tell me what I have to do. Yeah. Because as far as I'm concerned, I do remember my great-grandparents fleeing Eastern Europe 3 generations ago, 2 generations ago. And because of the fascism, because of the tyranny, because of the totalitarianism, and from what I remember, America is still a land of the free. We're allowed to have our own free liberties to decide what we want to do for ourselves, for our family, in the pursuit of our happiness. So I find it very hard to like you said, during 9/11, we lost all those freedoms. Now we're losing more freedoms.
Way
And
more. Mm-hmm.
like you said, are the masks going to go? We're just losing freedoms, and people are just here, take this freedom, because I'd rather have security.
Yep.
You got security because once everything is gone,
mm-hmm.
then it's going to be too late, because the government is going to be so big that if they can give you everything they want, they can take everything that they want.
Yeah, what's next? Where does it end? You're right. And it's ironic, to your point, we're the only country in the world with a vaccine mandate. That, to me, speaks volumes. I don't know why nobody's talking about that. I mean, why is that not on the media? Why haven't we explored that? Europe, who tends to be pretty liberal, progressive, no vaccine mandates over there. And so I think that's kind of interesting that how did it get to this point, and why are we where we're at? So, that's really, really, really interesting. Wow, you hit so many points, and a lot of those, like you said, need to be discussed. No matter what side people are on, it's definitely subject to debate, because you do have a lot of people who, I think you're right. We're not realizing the freedoms that were being taken away from us, and if we can't go to a restaurant because you don't have the vaccine or what have you, I guess, that's fine with personal choice. But when it comes to you can't fly internationally or what have you, I can see this becoming problematic. And now that with companies mandating it for employees for more than 100 or so, I'm shocked that that's going to go through. Someone else was just telling me the other day that currently the administration's wanting to look into people's income of anything more than $300 on an income transaction to be able to peruse and look into your bank account. And that kind of scares me. I mean, I know the message, we're just looking for tax people cheating the taxes, but I don't know about that. I mean, it just seems to me just something doesn't seem right, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. How do you go from 10,000? I think it's 600.
600. Okay.
I think it's 600. But how do you go from 10,000 in cash to 600 in cash?
Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it's like you can eliminate the deadliest virus in the world by a vaccine mandate, but you can't get everybody food. We still have poverty.
Wow.
You can't. You can do all of this stuff, and you can censor all of this stuff, but you can't get child trafficking, sex trafficking, off of Facebook. Your priorities are a little screwed up. There's a great there's a complete sidebar, but this kind of goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a on YouTube. There's a guy that goes over. I'm very big on micro expressions and reading people's faces. It's been very hard for me to have conversations with people when you can't see their face. You can't see anything.
And I can't hear them too. I can't make out what they're saying sometimes. Yeah.
Right. But this guy goes over this conversation that Bill Gates was having with an interviewer, and she was asking him about the mandates, asking him about the vaccines and stuff, and he was a little squirmish. But then when it got to Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates lost it, and he was going through all of these different things about, well, did you know about this? Did you know about that? He completely diverted every single question. So you're telling me, and that goes back to, you think that all of these things that you have in place are going to fix the problem, but you can't. And this seems to be a big problem, right? This is the life of the world. It rests on whether or not we can get this taken care of. But you can't fix poverty. You can't fix such a small problem like poverty or sex trafficking of children. But then you got people like Bill Gates that squirm when Jeffrey Epstein's name comes up. So that leads me to believe that there's a lot of sweeping under the carpet, and they just want us to focus on this thing right here while they're doing all of this down here.
Yeah.
So what's coming down the pipe for us, guys? What are we getting ready to get kicked in the butt for? Because we're all focused over here when this is going on back here.
Wow. Yeah, that really is scary, Nathan. It's just amazing how it's gotten to this point. And again, just I think you're right. There may be more to come, and who knows? It could get worse before we see anything get better. But Nathan, thank you. Man, this time flew by really quickly, and
we
have to do another one of these very soon. Let's get together next month and kind of
Absolutely.
follow up on this because there's so much more. I'm sure, and within a month's time, so much stuff can come out and change. Who knows? Maybe we'll have another variant by then, next time we talk. But
The
thank you.
XYZ variant.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's just crazy. Let's go ahead and get some important contact information and anything else you want to plug for programs before we let you go, please.
Absolutely. So like Taryn and I were talking about, nutrition and fitness are key.
Mm-hmm.
Fitness is pretty easy. I mean, you can have you can half-ass your fitness program and it still be okay if your nutrition is dialed in. But if you don't have good nutrition, then it doesn't matter how dialed in your fitness is going to be. It's not going to work. You're not going to see results. So I have this report. It's 15 keys to maximizing and optimizing your nutrition program. You can get that at 21daybodytransformationchallenge.com. It's free. Just put in your name, put in your email address, and it'll be automatically sent to your email. So you'll be able to get that. But when you really dial in that nutrition, not just about weight loss, but living healthier and having a strong, healthy immune system, those keys are going to be very, very important. So you can utilize those with your fitness program that you have now. You can implement those into your nutrition program you have now, and you're going to start to see a lot more benefits health-wise, fitness, physically wise, mentally wise when you're using those keys. So again, it's 21daybodytransformationchallenge.com, and you can get that free report today.
Excellent. Very good, Nathan. We'll put your information on the screen as we fade to black. And again, appreciate you and your time. And again, just awesome video blog today, as always, Nathan. And keep it up. You're doing so great out there, and you're the man. So we'll let you go. And have a great rest of your weekend. And here comes your contact information right now.
Bye.